Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerdlings of all ages, we're here on Star Station for map number 2 of the ESET UK Masters Open Qualifier semi-final. Of course, we don't play the finals because 2 people will get those seats into the ESET UK Masters Grand Final at I-48, and the first one of them could be our Terran player in the bottom right. He represents Axiom, and his name is none other than Hart. His opponent, however, is 1 game up on him at the moment after playing a beautiful macro game on Cloud Kingdom. Can he close it out 2-0? We'll find out in just a moment. It is, representing Roots Gaming, the Korean mastermind, Sage, the brain toss himself.
Now, I'm going to admit something, Jorisar. I have actually got so excited with this, I've, kicked my chair back. I'm standing up. That is how hyped I've got after game 1. That is how excited I've become. I've converted to, some kind of hipster standing desk guy. That is how bad things have happened. But seriously, I really hope Hart can level this out, and he had some really ingenious play in game 1. He was trying so much aggressive dropping. He was trying to just really knock Sage out of his rhythm, but just Sage's macro was intense.
Well, Sage clearly went into that endgame with a very, very simple and really solid plan in mind. He went Stalkers, take out missile turrets. DTs, 4 scans, keep RBs in base. Oh, and behind this, I'll just casually do my macro thing because I'm Korean and I can get up to 12 bases at once without anyone looking. And
look at that supply depot. That supply depot completing the wall off, denying the probe scout. Now, obviously, with no gas down for Hart yet, I'm thinking it's going to be a quick command center. That is my personal thought of what it's going to be. And just generally speaking, do you remember the time when if you did this little wall off trick, it was always to hide a gas or some kind of tech, whereas now it just seems to always be to hide a command center.
Yep. 1-1-1 with Winamides. Go! No, that's not a thing. Don't worry about it, guys. If only. And Mattles, you're right on the money here. He's preparing to put down that command center. So it's just going to be a simple 1 Rax gasless expand coming out of here from Complexity's Heart. In the meantime, no real indication from Sage yet. He's got 2 gases, but only 2 workers on each. Cybernetics core about to finish up.
I've thought of something actually which would be more scary than a 1-1-1 with Widow Mines, and that would be some kind of funky 2 factory play with Hellbats and Widow Mines. Imagine that.
I think my brain just popped.
That would actually make me cry. The only thing that would make that worse is if Hellbats shot Widow Mines.
Oh my god, can we just don't even. That's like if Broodlord shot Infestors. Yeah.
You just need an army of High Templar to pop them as they were being flung out.
I'm sure someone can make a custom game mod called Everything is Imbalanced. We'd have Hellbat shooting Widow Mines, Broodlord shooting Infestors, or maybe Swarm Host spawning them or something. And then what would we have for Protoss though? Carriers would shoot something hilarious. Carriers would shoot Oracles.
Carriers would shoot Voidways. Just everything loses. But we see the mothership core here now, and we do see a bit of damage vision of the high ground being granted with the Marines, poking and prodding forward, and this is actually a really smart play out of Sage.
Yeah, this is really, really nice harassment. At the end of the day, the Marines can't pop out because the mothership core appears to be doing damage just a little bit too quickly for those Marines to stay alive. So he's actually forced to lift his racks and move slightly further in, and killing off this supply depot, very annoying for him. Almost getting supply blocked, and the second supply depot will actually block him, which I believe is Sage's goal.
Now we do have that one lone SCV repairing his way on, but now the Marines moving out. They need to be careful though. We've already seen 1 die thanks to that time warp, and this is just frustrating. It's irritating. It's like a pylon block for your hatchery as a Zerg player. It's not terrible. My goodness, is it going to make you angry?
But look at the income from Hart. His income is going up so slowly because 2 SCVs, it was 3 before, are constantly repairing the supply depot. His tech is not going out quite as fast as he wants to. The Marines getting slightly low on health. Needs to be careful with that Zealot though. And this constant aggression from the mothership core is really eating into Hart's early game plans.
Indeed, we can just see these Stalkers desperately trying to deal some damage. The Marines trying to kill them though, and now a Widow Mine out.
Nice.
That is gonna put an end to it.
Now, as much as we were praising that really cool move coming out from Sage there, I also think it's worth noting, even though he's a bit supply blocked at the moment, Hart handled that like an absolute champ. All 4 Marines that were in the bunker stayed alive. He poked and prodded where he could, but otherwise he just allowed damage to slowly be dealt, used the SCVs to repair where he thought he could get away with it, and tried his best to move as fast as he can. And with the onset of that Widow Mine, the game now effectively resets. He's been annoyed, but the worker supply is relatively even, 34 to 33 at the moment in Sage's favor.
It's not only that, the fact that there's mules out means that actually Hart is slightly ahead in income. And while he lost a bit repairing and lost a few resources, he's just going about his daily business. We've got the Twilight Council now coming out in a very hidden position, so that means that if Hart was to scan, he's unlikely to spot that. And all in all now, it's just going to come down to the mid-game.
That Twilight Council positioning smells like DTs to me, but we're going to have to wait and see. It's about complete. We'll do so in the next couple of seconds. In the meantime, we have an SCV scout coming out here from Hart, going to try and see what the army composition is like outside in the main base. He'll spot that there's a Zealot there and a couple of Stalkers, which should be able to take it out. But aside from that, no real info.
So what we've got now is Sage with that Observer. It's coming in, it's going to get a full read. There isn't a missile turret down, so it's not going to be able to get detected. But you were correct, Jorisar. You are so pro with this guessing lock. We do have a Dark Shrine.
Well, to be fair, we've had quite a few of them this evening, so the Dark Shrine, anytime, ladies and gentlemen, has just popped down for Root Sage. He's currently 1-0 up. Can he make it 2-0 and close it out and win that invitation, that spot at I-48? Also, the Observer has seen 3 factories go down, so we're going to be seeing a little bit of Mech versus Protoss here. Pretty exciting stuff.
And this is something that you'd hardly ever see.
Oh, Banshee!
The Banshee! Ah! It's gonna... No! Oh. I was like, for a second, I was like, it's done it! It's been a hero, but unfortunately not. Let's have a brief second of silence for the poor Banshee.
And I'd like to see... He's eventually gonna... Oh, never mind. There it goes. Pops out, like, with Mech against Protoss, of course, those
The scan
Ravens
sees
from
it!
its super
The
hand.
scan sees the Dark Shrine!
Oh, very, very nice indeed. Now, will it get cancelled by Sage? He's putting down another 3 gateways at the moment. Really good scan there from Hart. And no, the Dark Shrine is going to finish. He wants to force those missile turrets. He wants to force those scans. He's now going to try, just like we saw last game, to make those DTs worth every penny, even if his opponent knows that they're there.
Now, in game 1, initially the DTs weren't doing much, and to be honest, Hart did a great job of defending them. But going into the late game, with those Stalkers, Sage was able to pick off missile turrets relentlessly and was then able to deal huge damage with those DTs. So that is something we'll be looking out for this game. But the Hellions, they're pushing across. They're going to try and get a couple of kills. And to be honest, these two, I'm still feeling it's very, very level. 47 SCVs to 52 probes. Mules, though, level that out. And to be honest, this is close times.
Oh, 4 Hellions lurking with intent outside the natural, making Sage's units move back at the moment, so Hart does not want Sage moving out across the map. He wants to try and keep him there. A single Viking moving on the bottom right-hand side will be able to scout out what's going on at the natural expansion, but can't get any real damage done.
The Hellions are retreating. The Stalkers were pushing back, pushing forward too hard. We've got Thors coming out. We have got the +1 vehicle weapons getting research. We've got Blink for Sage. It served him so well in game 1. But the Immortals already up to 3. These two are reading each other like books.
Oh, and here we go. A little bit of an engagement out in the middle of the map. Sage has to retreat. There is no way that Stalker count can beat the army currently out here from Hart. He's pushing across the map. He's got that Raven for support as well, scanning ahead to see what's there. 3 Immortals, though, are going to try and make the difference, but those tags siege up at just the right time. Immortals are really good against tags, but when there are this many of them, you need to be pretty careful.
And of course, those tanks are just edging forward. Photon Overcharge goes down on the Nexus, and all we want to see now from Hart is him bide his time. And we're seeing a PDD stopping that Photon Overcharge from doing much at all. The tanks engagement coming down. The Archon's trying to engage as best they can, but we see a single Immortal on the high ground. It's not going to get taken. It's going to get taken out. And well, this looked pretty even, but I think Sage is going to take it.
Oh, the Immortals doing so much damage. They weren't focused down by the non-tag units, and as a result, they are just absolutely cleaning up the tags, focusing the Immortals. Not the best choice of unit there. And Sage is absolutely clearing house here. Going mech is fine, but you don't want to lose your entire army because it takes forever to reproduce. And now Sage is up by 20 supply, and he's got a 7 worker lead.
It's not only that, Sage, he knows he's just crushed Heart's army. He's blinking forward, and while he may not be able to do that much damage into this defensive position, he's taking his third base. Literally, as soon as he took out that army, he was like, do you know what I should do now? Expand. Genius.
A little bit of a Banshee harass over there at the natural just now, getting shut down pretty heavily. I think the Banshee got a couple of kills, just one actually. So 96 to 83 supply right now. Sage with his third base, like you mentioned, Metal, soft containing Heart on 2. And this feels like such a similar position to Cloud Kingdom, except this time, Heart has 2 bases instead of 3.
It's going to be tough. We do have the third command center coming down. It could sneakily float down to the third position, but defending it would be oh so tough. Now Heart has got to start macroing like mad. Upgrade wise, we do have +1 vehicle weapons done already for Heart. He's getting +2 up. No upgrades as we saw in game 1 for Sage, so that could come back to bite him.
It could indeed. Oh, this is such a difficult situation for Heart right now. I mean, what can he do? There's no obvious safe third base. Third base, pretty hard to take on this map if your opponent is map control. He can't really sneak one in anywhere. His tanks have to remain sieged up at home, basically. And his army, his mech army, isn't mobile enough to be in several places at once to try and secure it. There's really not much he can do in this situation. And another tank getting picked off on the high ground there, just slowly being whistled down. Sage is really gearing up for the late game because his third base is almost saturated. And it's tough. What do you do as the Terran?
As the Terran, your only option right now is to just try and take that third. You've so desperately got to do it. And we can see now that Heart, he is starting to edge forward. He's trying to get that siege line. He's going to try and float that orbital down. And it is his only option right now.
Yeah, this is looking pretty dire for our Terran player. The orbital does get snuck down, but a DT there sees it. Doesn't prevent it from going down or anything, though, and we have a little bit of an engagement up here on the high ground, but that War Prism getting very, very quickly removed by the Viking. And, is this orbital going to get sniped off?
It is taking a lot of damage. Those Stalkers coming in like absolute bosses. And with the drop defense there, where are the SCVs? That could be the defining moment of this game.
He has got it, and there are 4 Immortals here as well, but he knows he doesn't have to engage the army right now. He's actually taken apart the orbital command. Sage has no desire to engage right now. He knows he's so far ahead, he can just sit back and force Heart into some sort of offensive move. Sage is getting further and further ahead. 73 probes to 47 SCVs.
3 bases to 2 bases. Sage, a good 15 supply ahead, and to be honest, I think he's right not trying to push into this yet, because ultimately Heart has to take a risk. That is what it comes down to. A couple of Stalkers dying here, but a blink away means they will retreat safely. And I just think, Jorisar, that Sage, if he bides his time, as long as he doesn't make any super mistakes, and now he's taking a 4th as well, he's in a solid spot.
Once again, though, just like last game, well, there's a lot of SCVs with this army, and by a lot, I mean 33 SCVs have decided to join this army at the moment, Maddles, and Heart is going for it. Now, he does have superior upgrades. He has 2-0 upgrades versus absolutely no upgrades from Sage, but look at the number of Immortals with this army. Everything is getting annihilated. Nice time warps. The Thors do take apart the Mothership Core. The Immortals, though, they're just doing so much damage to the mech. Is it going to be enough? 110 to 131 supply. Sage continuing to fall back a little bit. Almost all of those SCVs are now toast. 40 workers killed. And I think Sage knows it. He wants to fall back, buy himself a couple of warp-ins worth of units and say, look, you don't have workers anymore. You're going to have to attack me, not the other way around.
And that's what you want when you've got an opponent going mech. But now we see those Immortals, those Stalkers, they are going forward with no repairs. Those floors are absolutely melting. So much damage being done. And look at the supply tumble for Heart right now. But Sage pulling back, biding his time as best he can. And well, more SCVs have been pulled. This is completely all in for Heart now.
I am so surprised at Sage. He should not have gone that second time. I thought he was actually going to wait at his natural or his third, but for some reason he moved back and lost a couple of Immortals. And now Sage, all of a sudden, has a decent number of Thors still out. And I think that might actually turn the table slightly. The supplies are so unbelievably close. A lot of probes getting pulled. I think Sage is just about going to take this, but oh my god, 2 Thors.
The probes are winning this right now.
This is unbelievable. This did not need to be that close because Sage could have had this engagement with 2 additional immortals. He went out and overcommitted to engaging in the middle of the map just now. It's 62 supply to 41, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Heart's standing army is doing marginally better. Another round of Stalker Warpins. There goes the last Thor, and that should be it. GG. What a finish to that game.